So today we're going to do a meditation called Tong Len. It's a Buddhist meditation and it means giving and taking, or giving and receiving. And it's this idea that we're fostering the scope of our love and our compassion, and we're really broadening it out. I'm just going to read a very short paragraph before we begin by way of context, and then we'll settle down and get going. So Tong Len is a very powerful method to transform our own, and this is quite traditional language, but it's helpful, to transform our own self-cherishing mind into the mind of cherishing others, to transform our attachments and aversions to loving kindness and compassion. We can begin this Tong Len meditation by first cultivating caring and compassion for ourselves and then expanding it out. No matter how much anger, jealousy, attachment, anxiety, and so forth are in our mind, these mental afflictions are not part of our natural state. They are not the nature of our mind. They are merely like dirt covering the surface. And beneath this dirt and these mental afflictions is the natural purity of the mind. So this is a purification process. It's a heart expanding process. It's a compassion fostering process. So I invite you to get nice and comfy to begin. Maybe you want to find a cross-legged position. Maybe you want to place your feet flat on the floor. And just finding a place that feels good for you. Maybe you want to take a couple of rolls of the shoulder first, a roll of the neck. Just allow any kinks to iron out, shake any little fidgets out of the body, and then come back down into stillness. Place your right hand on your heart and your left hand underneath your belly button. Allow the chin to bow gently. And imagine a wire through the crown of the head, lifting the crown, lifting the spine up out of the pelvic bowl and towards the sky. Take a nice deep breath in. And let it go. Take two more. As you're breathing in, imagine you're breathing in tranquility and peace. And with every exhale, you're breathing out the busyness of the mind, the thoughts, the worrying, the noise. Take one final deep inhale as we breathe in peace. Exhale the busyness, the thoughts of the mind. Allow the body to start to relax. Allow the hands to drop down onto the lap or onto the thighs. Feel the weight of the sit bones against the surface below. Allow the hips to soften, the shoulders to relax, the bottom jaw to grow heavy, and the muscles around the eyes and between the eyebrows to smooth and switch off. Dropping your awareness fully down into your body now as you start to observe where the breath is moving with every rise of the inhale and fall of the exhale. Seeing if you can stay present and really start to tune and focus your awareness in on the breath for the next 5 to 10 breaths. Can you stay witnessing, watching the breath for the duration of the whole inhale, from the moment the breath and air starts entering the body to the stop point, the gap before it starts to release and exhale? If the mind is really busy, maybe you want to stay with that mantra of breathing in peace and breathing out busyness. Breathing in peace, breathing out busyness. And as we start to drop down out of the mind and into the body, we start to soften. We start to soften the edges of our awareness. The focus of where we end and outside or other begins starts to blur. Our edges start to soften. And I want you to bring your attention now and firmly place it on your heart. And honestly ask yourself, what frustrations, disappointments, anger, resentments, bitterness, or any negative emotions are you holding on to? Have you been unable to shake or drop? What shackles are staying around the beauty of your heart? Maybe it's frustration around a situation, hurt around a person. Maybe it's around specific objects, allowing whatever bubbles up in the mind. And if nothing bubbles up at this time, no need to force, just simply sitting and being, allowing yourself to be within the position of observer and of witness. As though you were at a movie theatre watching these objects appear on the screen. These things are being presented in front of you, but they are not you. Your authentic self is the one who simply observes, detached and impartial. And once these things have bubbled up, I want you to let the ideas go and visualize these hurts, these frustrations, these disappointments, any anger, bitterness, resentment, to appear in your body. Visually to appear in your body as energetic black smoke. And this black smoke, in between the spaces of your cells, in between the spaces of your mitochondria, your bones and your blood, is taking up room, is making you feel so heavy, is sapping you of your energy, of your love and of your lightness. And I want you to feel in your heart compassion to yourself for carrying this weight, for carrying this heaviness, for impeding your lightness, your vitality and your freedom by holding on to these things that no longer serve you. And as you feel that compassion in your heart center, I want you to imagine there is a pure white light right in the center of your heart, so bright you could barely look at it. Maybe you feel this as a heat. Maybe you feel this in its color of the brightness. Maybe you just know this is here. And with every inhale, I want you to breathe into this heart center, this compassion to yourself for bearing these burdens. And as you breathe in, I want you to imagine that this light is expanding now. It's expanding and expanding. So much so that it's filling the whole of the breadth of your chest. And now this orb, this big ball of pure white light, of love, of compassion, is so big that it rests in the front of your chest. And we're going to work with this compassion. We're going to work with this alchemizing force, this force of transmutation, this truth of love, as we start to free ourselves of this black smoke. With every inhale, we start to draw this black smoke up and out of our body. And with every exhale, this black smoke comes out through our nose or our mouth, and instantly, like a magnet, is pulled to this bright white ball. And on meeting this bright white ball, it is transmuted, it is healed, it disappears. And the heaviness, the darkness is transferred into light. The ball grows on every exhale that is made. Every tiny element of black smoke that hits this ball means that compassion grows. And I want you to spend the next 10 breaths now, inhaling as you draw that breath up, draw that smoke up and out, all the way from where it may be residing in your body, maybe all the way down in the toes, in the soles of the feet. Drawing it up, blowing it out. Drawing it up from the ankles, the calves, the knees, the shins. Drawing it up from the thighs, from the hips, from the pelvic bowl, drawing up any root fears around stability or safety, maybe drawing up any fallouts or broken, amended relationships from around our sacral chakra, breathing the smoke up now from the navel, from the center of our power. Any time that we felt our self-esteem drop, we gave our power where it was taken from, up, breathing this out, breathing this black smoke up and out, up and out, up and out, until there is no black smoke in the bottom half of our body. And we keep breathing this smoke up, up, up and out, breathing it from our hands, from our arms, up through our chest even, so that our lungs are clear of any grief, any heaviness, any sadness. Breathing it up and out from the back of our throat. Any time that we have held our truth, that we feel resentful, that we have not been able to speak our truth, to be true to ourselves, breathing it up and out, up and out, up and out. Breathing it up and out, any smoke that remains, any smoke that lingers behind the eyes, any impediment to seeing the truth behind Maya. Breathing the smoke up and out behind the eyebrows, the center of the third eye, intuition and guidance, any smoke from the mind, from the brain, breathing it up and out, until we take our final deep inhale. And breathe out that last tiny whiff of smoke as it hits that ball of white light. And this bright light has grown now. It has grown so big that you can take it and you can draw it into your chest, and it starts to fill up the whole of your body. This beautiful bright light that represents everything that you desire and believe that you can be, do, or have. Those things that bring you joy, those things that bring you passion, those things that bring you fulfillment, those things that light you up. And you start to shine now so bright, almost like your own star. You see the effervescent brightness, maybe even the ripples of light, maybe like light dancing on water. You see the twinkles around your aura as this light is so bright, so radiant, so glorious. And you smile. You smile with compassion for yourself, that you are able to free yourself of these burdens. And you take a moment to pause. For now, we start to move on. We draw into our awareness someone that we may know. Perhaps it's a choice of someone that we will benefit from this process, but maybe it's just the first person that pops into your mind. Trust the choice to be authentic to you. Do not scrupulise over it. Maybe it's a person on your street that you know, you've seen once or twice. Maybe it's your partner, your grandma, your dog, whoever it is. Imagine this being in front of you now, and imagine just as you had them being weighed down by this burden, this heaviness of things that they cannot shake, things that are holding them back, that are weighing heavy on their heart, on their energy and their being, shackles that no longer serve them for their journey ahead. And imagine this filling their whole body now in the form of black smoke. The light at your heart is still so bright. And as you notice it, you look to their heart and you see the bright light in their heart too. And full of self-compassion for them, wishing them to be free of suffering and all of its causes, you start to breathe now. And every inhale draws the black smoke up and out of their body, out through their nose, out through their mouth. And like a magnet, it is drawn either to your heart and to theirs. Into the center of that bright white light, like a magnet, it transforms, transmutes, and heals this smoke, heals this heaviness. And you use your breath now, every inhale drawing that suffering out of their body in the form of smoke. Exhaling as it hits the white light. Inhale, we draw it up and out. Exhale, it's transformed. As you follow your breath now, clearing their body, seeing that black smoke free itself, clearing from every part of their body, from their feet, their ankles, their legs, their hips, their torso, their hands, their arms, their chest, their back, their neck, their head, their ears, their eyes, their nose, their mouth. Breathing it up and out, up and out, up and out, until you see them finally on the last breath, free of all of this smoke. And you look into their eyes and you see their relief to be freed from these things that weighed so heavy on them. These inflictions and these sufferings that stood in the way of their happiness, their joy, their truth, their light, and their vitality. And it fills you with so much joy to have been able to help, to have been able to add to their happiness. And as your joy starts to expand in your heart center, so you see it start to expand in theirs. And as you look in their eyes, you see their gratitude. Because as the light starts to expand in them, you see them, or imagine, or simply know that they have, and they are everything that brings them joy and happiness. Perhaps you see them start to smile. Maybe they giggle. Maybe they take a little spring in their step, a little hop to the side. Whatever it is, you start to imagine them in their pure happiness, their highest light, shining so bright now, moving so lightly, and looking with such love and gratitude into your eyes as you look with love and gratitude into theirs. Such knowing that this is the truth, that there is only ever love, that we are only ever doing our best. And then you let them go. And we have one final stage of our journey now. I want you to focus on how big and bright that light in your heart is. I want you to focus on the compassion you feel that no one should have to be weighed down by the burden of their suffering, by these inflictions that they, at their level of awareness, are unable to shake, staying trapped, staying heavy, staying unhappy. Someone that you have had a disagreement with, someone to which you are not on the best of terms at this current stage, perhaps someone that you've been unable to forgive. It may be something small, it may be something large, whatever feels appropriate to you, whatever presents it to yourself. Know that you are safe, you are entirely protected by this ball of white light in front of your heart, in front of your being, that fills up your energy field, that fills up your body. And I want you to, in your mind's eye, raise your head now and look with the eyes of compassion. Look through the eyes of your heart as you see this person full of their own black smoke. So heavy. It weighs them down so much. All of these things that they cannot shake. All these disappointments, these hurts, these resentments, these angers. And you understand now the scared little child within them. You understand now that just like you, they are trying their best. And we do not always get it right. And as you see this black smoke in them and you feel into your heart, you want nothing more than to rid them of their suffering, just as you rid you of yours. And you would wish everyone you love to be free of suffering. And so now I invite you to start to breathe that black smoke out of their body. Breathe it up with every inhale, draw it up, draw it up, draw it up, and exhale, blow it out into that big, beautiful, white, bright light that is in front of your heart like a magnet. It's transformed, it's transmuted, it feeds this light. The light of compassion, following your breath, breathing that black smoke up and out, up and out, up and out, until that black smoke is being drawn up out of their legs, out of their torso, up and out of their hands, out of their arms, out of their lungs, out of their center of their being, out of their back, out of their chest, breathing it up and out of their throat, out of their head, clearing out any crevices around their eyes, around their ears, so that there is no impediment in the way of being able to see the truth, see the light, hear the light, speak with honesty, with grace, with kindness. You are ridding them of all of these burdens as you breathe the smoke up, 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 up and out until on your final breath, they are free. They are free of this smoke. And you see in their heart this white, bright light start to grow into the space, the energetic space that you have created through the power and force of your own compassion, the power and force of your own love that is forgiving. It is as simple as that. Only love is real behind all of this. And as you start to notice this light start to grow through their chest, through their being, growing as bright as it did in your body until they almost look like a human star. Maybe you can feel the heat of this light. Maybe you can see its brightness. Maybe you can see the waves of this light or the twinkles. And when it feels safe to you, when you feel ready to, take a deep breath into your heart. Feel the joy that resides there. Exhale. Take another deep breath into your heart, into the eyes of your heart. And as you connect to the eyes of your heart, look up and meet their eyes. Look at the gratitude. Look at the relief in their eyes that they are free now of everything that has been holding them down, weighing on them so heavily, impeding their ability to act with the truth and light that they so want to be able to act with. You can see now a lightness to them. You can see a joy in their eyes that you've seen maybe once before. And you start to imagine that they are receiving all of the things that they desire to have in their life, that they desire to be or become, all of the things that they wish for, all of the things that would bring them happiness and joy. You see them surrounded by these things now. And as you look down, you see yourself surrounded by the very same amount of desires that you yourself wish of, dream of, only now you believe it is possible to have them. And if it feels right for you, maybe you look across, you look into their eyes. Maybe there's a little nod of knowing. Maybe a word or two is said. And then you let them go. You come back to your heart. You come back to this truth, the brightness of this light. As we drop down from our mind into our heart, it is always here for us, this wellspring, this infinite wellspring of love and light. And I want you to bring your right hand and place it on your heart, left hand and place it underneath your belly button. Take an inhale. Exhale, release. Honoring yourself for taking this practice. Honoring yourself for sharing your love and your light. And then bring your hands out to the side. 45 degrees, thumbs to the air. Take an inhale into this heart and imagine that this white light, this bright light now is growing all the way out to the edges of your hands so that you're in a whole human ball of bright light. Maybe you're smiling within your mind's eye or your heart. And up to you, if it feels right to you, maybe you start to expand this light all the way out through your houses, through your homes, maybe over this whole city. Maybe there's an explosion of light, a tsunami of light from your heart as you send it out. You send it out as big as the world, to everything you are connected with. And it brings you so much joy to be and share all that you are, the love that you are, the light that you are. And then you start to bring it back in. Take one deep inhale, bring the thumbs to touch above your head. And then exhale, bring your hands down to heart center, bring the light back in to a radius that feels right for you. Maybe it's a few meters, maybe it's right next to your skin. Know you are protected, know you are loved, know you are held. Know that this love you can give yourself and others at any time you wish to revisit it. Take an inhale. Exhale, release. Start to wriggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Bring your awareness back into your body. Maybe starting to roll the head. Maybe take a stretch, whatever feels nice for you, just to reconnect to your body now. Perhaps the feet come flat on the floor. Maybe you stand up, take a stretch, and start to bring your videos back on as you gently start to blink open the eyes. If you don't feel in your body, you can rub the hands together and bring some heat into those palms and place those over the eyes, drawing them away as you blink open and come back.